Hello and welcome. Today's date, that comes in the completion for the 4th day of December 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. And this whole me stating before, I think that there's going to probably be resistance if it comes to the 18, and that we're probably en route to making a lower low to this level. It might only be a small one around 61 or 6,000. But I still think we're at least going to pierce below this, and today's action is only making that clarification even stronger, or the probability for such. And within the day, we can see how we have this line matching up to this previous high from November the 29th. But we've already given it all back, and we're at the lower end of the more shorter term range, hanging in there now for the 5th day amongst the 18 average of lows as where support is coming in. And there's been a lot of these failed moves, either up or down, most of them being failed breakouts. Of course, we had this big failed breakdown that occurred October 23rd to the 25th, and then now the failed breakout that occurred on October 25th, really. And even though it says October 26th, that was the high, well, maybe in Japan and in London, but not in anywhere in North America or South America, because that happened at the end of the calendar time, like dinner time, 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock p.m. on that day, meaning this move was a pretty much all day, half day, 12-hour kind of play. And then the failed breakdown didn't find support in those key areas. Well, today's session had one of those great moves, and let's take a look at this on a shorter term time frame. And we'll go right to the single hour. Okay, there we have it. At 8 o'clock this morning, price action had a 3.88% gain, up $280. Obviously, we've already given it all back. But it was up much more than that, because it closed at 7,500 with a high at 77.5. So it gave back 250, and then it stayed for 6 hours around the 7,500 level, unable to even attempt any type of breakout. And then at 1,500 hours, a monstrously big move, not supporting the 18 average of lows. I suppose we're still supporting this level in here. However, where we're seeing this resistance, I would have liked to see the must-hold area be like 72.30, and technically it can still hold and stay above it. But I don't see it supporting that level right now. I see it resisting that level, staying and holding below this 18 average of lows. As far as these moves that came into play, well, the one earlier that felt like on a cliff, as we can see, it's been going sideways. We've established much of this short-term resistance in here, but I'm not really going to be focusing too much upon that. Rather, it started at 1,551 hours, 3:51 p.m. Eastern Time, and it took about 3 minutes to fall about 300 points, or 3%. This thing does seem highly probable to be en route to at least have a play to that down at least $1,000 lower from here to 62, I would think. Short term, I mean, we might come up to like 73. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I would be, why I say it that way is if it does, and however high it may go to, maybe it goes to 74.50, I'm going to be surprised that it happens. I was surprised today when this happened. And I'm like, well, I didn't think it was going to happen. I want it to go up. But it's one of the predictions that I'm making that we're going to 63 that I don't want to have happen. And I'm technically not even betting it to happen either. But yeah, I still think it will. Just if I do, I'll usually get, well, whatever. I usually get crushed when I make that kind of bet. But, well, that's why, of course, I take the profit-taking periods here and there. I bought gold and silver recently just in case this crypto game doesn't work. I'm at least accumulating whatever type of fiat and precious metals that I can along the way. Now switching it over to Bitcoin dominance, the move earlier today at 8 o'clock, well, it did the same thing here, and then the same thing with the fall at 1500 hours. But what we're seeing over the last few periods is the market not going in a sideways range like the price of Bitcoin is. So this tells you everything you need to know in that, well, since this decline, the alternate coins have been going down ever since. And Bitcoin has been staying flat because with this term price action in Bitcoin versus US fiat is doing this. So if Bitcoin against other cryptos is doing that, that means the other coins are going down in value. Case in point, LITECOIN, which had just in the last couple hours, we can see earlier today was up to the 62.43 handle, now down to 69, and may break that number for the first time in years. I think we might be going back to late 2016 since the last time it was below that number. And whether this ends up working out or not within cryptos, I think it's highly probable that it still will, but not as highly probable as I thought last year and the years before, meaning 80% is higher than 75. I don't know what the percentage is because, as I state so many times, gold and silver is the safe play. The risk-reward aggressive play in cryptocurrencies, well, risk means that, well, to me, I like to say gold and silver holding 5, 10, 20 years to protect your value fairly. Fairly meaning fair, like C in a A to F grade, is that maybe you lose 10, 20% of your value, but that holds it, though. That's the way of holding your value. I don't know. Maybe cryptos give you extreme gains, and they have in the past, especially because of the volatility that comes with it. And amongst high volatility means markets having the most powerful up and down moves that go along with it. And in a situation, again, as I've stated many times with Bitcoin, if it does work out, Bitcoin goes back up to 15, 20,000, and then breaks too high, 60, 100,000 kind of deal. A lot of these other altcoins, probably LITECOIN included, would have extreme phenomenal gains that would overperform it most likely along the way. All right, then. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.